Okay, welcome to the Wednesday recovery coaching call. My name is Omar Pinto. Welcome, everyone. And as usual, this is a place where we coach individuals one-on-one. So whatever someone is struggling with or something that someone wants to accomplish or an objective they want, an objective that maybe they find themselves stuck. How can we help you? So who would like to begin? Who's got something that they're struggling with that we can help you with? Sean.
Hello, I'm an addict and an alcoholic,
Welcome.
and I've been listening and getting a lot from these. Omar, you're very big help. I've seen you work with a lot of people, and I'm not really sure where to begin. But I recently had a relapse with the drug of my choice in a different form. I thought, hey, I could be really sneaky, and I could order some edible gummy type of thing for my pot addiction. Well, that was about a month and a half ago, and it didn't send, and the money got reimbursed, and I told everybody, and I thought, okay, I'm out of the clear. This is good. This wasn't going to happen anyways. I didn't really want it to happen. Well, then they ended up sending it anyways. They didn't charge me. It seemed like, oh, here it is. It's destiny, right? So, but I still told my counselor, and I told my sponsor about it. I said, I didn't want to get my wife Tori upset again because she was really pissed when I lied to her about it and went back. We both been off a weed for about 6 months, and so this is a real sneaky move. But anyways, so the premise of not wanting to upset her, I didn't tell her. Then when they came in on Monday, not totally surprised, right? Because I said don't send them, but they still sent them, and so I knew they were out there. Well, they came, and then I just ate all the gummies. Boom! As soon as I didn't even think about it. I just ate them all, like 500 milligrams, just wham. And the weird thing was I didn't really feel them until like the next day. I was just kind of groggy, and today I'm still groggy. So this is Monday, but it really was kind of a surprise how immature I thought my handling of it was, and how I was willing to compromise my clean, sober pursuit so easily, given this situation that I put in motion more than a month ago. I'm not sure if it's a call for help. I was kind of relieved when I didn't feel it. I had another slip in May, which was an opiate prescribed for surgery, and I didn't take it as prescribed. I took it all at once. Again, my body didn't feel it, but I still consider it a slip because the intent was to get high. And so part of me is going, well, what the hey? If you don't get high, what's the whole big, what's the deal? But I really do sort of feel like my body's done with it. Unless you take something really it's crazy, you're just going to you're going to have to handle it sober, whatever it is. For whatever reason, you're not going to get buzzed unless you really, really put your mind to it. And I have a similar experience. Just one more thing. I took naltrexone for drinking and cravings early in my recovery, and I drank on it, and I didn't feel it. And that was the first nail in the coffin for my addiction because I didn't have that romance. It's sort of like, what's the big deal? I did relapse again without it, and I felt that craving, but I also felt where I guess I felt like the romance is over a little bit. Now I'm hoping that since I didn't really get much of a kick from the last 500 milligrams I took, that this might be a similar case. But I feel like I'm sort of grasping at straws here for a rationale and for an excuse for why I did this, because there really isn't one. But I know my recovery has hit sort of a plateau, where I've gone to some things that have helped me from really, really getting lots of anxiety, but I still feel like I haven't connected with that inner child, I guess, that needs sort of reassurance that we're okay. I've gone into treatment when I was 20, or I went to AA when I was 25. 24 was kind of the bottom of using a lot of different chemicals and stuff like that. So I knew I had a problem. But now I feel like I've wandered into the woods far enough where I don't have enough time to get out of the woods before my life ends. So it's like, am I going to just go as a dry drunk, sneaking around, being immature, not really able to love on a way that I see others? Am I really compromising what I think I can be? Is that okay? I don't know. It sort of left it was kind of a kick in the gut. And I figured, what else do I have to lose but to tell more people about it? I guess that's kind of what I was intending to share. And my wife took it much better than I thought. My sponsor, I know he's going to kick my ass when he sees me next, because he'll see what I was up to. And my counselor, she says, well, you don't need to start over. You've learned a lot in this process. But I don't know what I need to do next, because right now I kind of feel like isolating. Like, this is tough. Like, this reaching out is not. I was getting comfortable with being alone. This COVID kind of like made me feel very safe from certain things, and I'm feeling I have to flush those things out a little bit. So I guess that's kind of sort of the gist of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how do you feel right now after sharing that?
I feel better, because I feel like I still don't, I'm not taking any pleasure in not having had the psychotropic effect, but I also realize that I don't have a double down feeling for it. So I feel relief. I feel some acceptance, self-acceptance that, hey, you are an addict. If you were thinking that you might not be, or you're hanging around, but still I feel like I'm circling the same tree over and over, thinking it's a different one, not growing. So a little discouraged, but also somewhat resolved in that, yeah, this is something I won't be able to do alone.
So
everything else, go ahead.
No, go ahead. That you won't be able to do this alone?
Right, and that's probably the most core thing about, I don't like criticism, and when it comes to my woodworking or my guitar out, and all these places I'm so afraid of input, this is one where I'm kind of turning it all over. I have no more answers. My maturity, I still have this very immature outlook on many aspects of my life, and it feels like I'm a little embarrassed, to be honest. I tried to seem, I think I'm still afraid of appearances being, I thought I was over this. I thought I was like, I don't give a shit anymore. I can really handle the truth. But obviously, I think that was kind of a cry for help a little bit. And I'm thinking, I know I've talked to Leo and others about this, and I've talked to my sponsor about other treatments, but I don't think there's one answer, unfortunately. And I've been looking for one answer, one way out of this. What?
There might be. We first of all, thank you, Sean. This is like a lot of information. So the more information that I have, the easier it is for me to help you. And so as I hear you, sharing with me, things start to come up. Like I immediately start bing, 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 bing. Like right before you got to the part where you said, I haven't connected with my inner child, a thought came to me that said, tell me about your childhood. So automatically, just as you were sharing, I automatically recognized that there was some sort of childhood issue. So I'm looking for the magic pill. I'm looking for the magic answer. I'm looking for the magic solution. But really, it's more about what needs to be healed. So that's where I want to begin. I want to identify some of the things that really caught my attention. So let me tell you what caught my attention. You tell me what comes up for you. Sneaky. Okay, take it all at once. Right? I haven't connected with my inner child. I've wandered into the woods far enough. I'm unable to love the way others love. So really, that's what like was bing, 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 bing. Those things kind of. And so for me, it's like, so what happened in your childhood? It feels like, was there ever a time where I like to use candy as the example? So a bag of M&Ms in the house, and I have to eat all of them all at once. So this whole idea of being sneaky, being immature, take them all at once, this reminds me of a child. So what can you just as I kind of like prod you a little bit and kind of like try and draw that child out, what can you remember about your childhood where you felt this need to be sneaky and eat it all?
Well, I think I felt like I was going to get the blame anyway, so might as well get the reward first because it was gonna come down. I was always called a passive resistor, so it seemed like, oh yeah, yeah, but then I'll probably drag my feet at some point. I really don't have a lot of recollections of specific things that are glaring. It was more like a overall vibe. I think I was talking about EMDR for something, and there's no one thing that stands out, like when I did something so bad or something was done so bad to me in my childhood. So it's more like this, I remember the twisted shirts when I was talking, just really, really, really tight. So I think knowing that cause and effect was kind of screwed up, I think I would eat all the things and hope somebody else took the blame. I can remember one time when my dad is huge on gun safety, which is understandable. And I left the safety off, and my cousin took the gun and he had it at his side and it went off. And my dad came down on that kid really hard, my cousin really hard. And I could have said, I left it off, but I didn't. I just let the rage go and took it. So that was, to me, kind of an example of being sneaky. I could have taken the heat, but I was afraid of that. So when I'm going to get something, I'll get it without your permission. I'll get out of trouble without your permission too.
So this was like a real gun?
I like a pellet gun.
Okay.
Well, it might have been a 22, but it was either a 22 or a pellet gun. I think it was a 22 now that I think about it.
You left the safety off a 22.
I know, I did.
And your cousin, did he take it from you? Did you hand it to him? How did that go down specifically?
It was his turn, so I gave it to him without putting. He should have checked it, but I kind of set him up. I feel like I could have taken part of the responsibility. He was assuming that I would do the basic putting the safety back on after I shot, but I gave it to him with the safety off. It went off after I gave it to him. So I was giving giving him responsibility after I supposedly made it secure. It was my mind, it was my fault. There was no doubt about it. And I think when he tried to say that, he said, well, he left it on. My dad didn't want to hear that. Like, you take responsibility. Don't try to hand it off to me. And so I kind of like, yeah, whatever. But I just felt like hiding behind that. And I felt kind of ashamed. I think a lot of those, that's an example of my dad came along after I was like 8 years old. He was kind of hardcore. He got out of the Vietnam. They were married, divorced, remarried, divorced again. My parents, and this is the second time they were married. And so I was kind of afraid of him. I still call him Tim to this day, but and he had alcoholic. He's still alcoholic, 40 years sober. So there was a lot of angst over this sort of male dominant sort of angry figure at that age.
So tell me a little bit about your mom. How was mom with you?
Mom is and continues to be sort of a detached, I would call her kind of narcissistic, because I would spend time away from them, or from my mom, while she pursued her things, I'd say with family, other families. And I didn't really put this all together, until recently, or until the last couple of years, when she stopped completely communicating with me. And she says it's because she's the reason that I'm an addict. So I guess there's been a lot of sort of hard feelings. Now I'm trying to get a forgiving sort of perspective on things, but without that feeling my developmental years that she was there, I think it's kind of there's always a little bit of confusion there about what that was all about.
Oh yeah. So wait a minute. Hold on. Mom's a little detached, narcissistic. She stopped communicating completely. How long ago?
About 2 years ago.
You haven't spoken to her?
She would refuse texts, whatever, and I just tried to talk to her. This is only by a text about a month ago, and we exchanged a few niceties, pictures, whatever, but it seemed so superficial that I stopped doing that. And she said she didn't want to re-establish a relationship because she thought we would suffer, my sister and I. My sister's 8 years younger, and she's from the second marriage between those two, and I was from the first one.
Your addiction is her fault.
Do I think that?
No, is that what she said?
Yes. Yeah, she gave me a book. I was basically an ace, and she said I'm a 6 or 7, and she loves me, but she's sorry. And kind of like, you're screwed, buddy. So, but I guess still, I think I look at it sort of in a pushing me off, but she's also trying to get her own shit together. So I'm trying to allow her space, but I still want her to be a part. I still can accept her even in this form. I need to, I want to, but I still go back and go, you weren't there for me at one point. I know you haven't. Because every photo I've looked at, I'm always grimacing or sad. And I remember that. And this person that I see today is incapable of being kind and unselfish. So I know that had to be the case when I was small too. And so I'm just filling in the blanks, but I don't really need to. I'm kind of coming to the conclusion that it's okay, whatever happened then. I just need to connect now. I don't need the whys, but that's been hard. Okay. I wanted to know why, and I think I got caught in that dilemma of I'll start forgiving if I find out why. I'll start doing my amends to others if I figure out why I was such a shithead then, and I don't get to know that. My inner child doesn't get to know exactly why he's such, but I just, that reluctance is what I think is part of my recent setbacks too, just to go forward without the why.
Okay. Deep breath in. Let's do it again. I will blank when I know why. Does that feel true?
I will blank when I know why. Yeah, I think that's been part of my hang up.
I will heal when I know why. I will get sober when I know why. I will forgive when I know why. And I have been stuck in this very childlike state waiting for my mom to come home.
Yeah.
This is what needs to heal. Now, if I were to ask you, Sean, if life does not happen to us and life happens for us, for what reason did I choose this life lesson?
This life lesson being, what's life lesson?
I'm intentionally being vague.
Oh, okay.
In hopes that something will just, like an automatic download will just come, right? Because if I'm too specific, you're in pain, period, end of story. You are in pain, you are sad, you are disappointed, correct? Okay. So I'm in pain, I'm sad, I'm disappointed. If I look back in my life, it's this constant why me? Why did it have to happen to me? Why did it happen to my sister? Why did my mom do this? Why did she abandon us? Why was I not good enough? Does that land?
What was the last thing you said?
Why am I not good enough?
Yes.
I must have done something wrong. And so I'm trying to see if I can connect with the inner child, if I can connect with your soul contract, because this is some hard shit, Sean. Like, this is hardcore stuff. This is not light. Like, as you started sharing, I go, we're going to take the hour. Because there's work and there's digging, because there's so many parts to this. But ultimately, if I step away from the facts and the details, and I seek to understand, because that's the question. I want to know why, but maybe if I can answer another question first, I can start to get some relief on my side before I get these answers. So if life does not happen to me, life happens for me, and I chose this path because I wanted to learn something or multiple things. If you were to guess, what might that be?
Love and connection. I think I wrote down these values, and I didn't have that on the list. And I was listening to a Tara meditation, and She was asking what the lack of the drug, what does the drug provide that you don't have already? And I think it was connection I finally came up with. Connection spiritually, connection through sort of need to feel important. So love and connection has always been it. I just haven't realized that until recently.
So have you ever heard Tony Robbins talk about the 6 human needs?
Indirectly.
Okay. So that's going to be, as a matter of fact, if you can put your email, so Tori can send me your email, I'm going to send you an assignment I give my clients, and it is the 6 human needs. But while we're doing that, I'm going to just briefly explain to you what they are. And the 6 human needs are growth, contribution, significance, love and connection, certainty, and uncertainty. And you've just mentioned 3 of them. You've mentioned 2. You mentioned love and connection, and you've mentioned significance, which is feeling important. Every single person on this call, every person on this planet has a need to feel significant, to feel that they matter, that they make a difference. And so as this comes up, love and connection, significance, love and connection, when I am abandoned, when I feel that I have been abandoned, it makes me feel insignificant. And that feeling of insignificant causes me to go out and seek love and connection in any way, shape, or form. Healthy, unhealthy, in whatever fashion. And when I cannot connect, when I do not feel love, when I do not feel connection, I need to soothe. If I get rejected, please, I will only hurt you. I have to cease conversations with you because I might hurt you. So it just compounds. I want to connect with my mother. I want a relationship with her. I don't care if she's toxic. I don't care if all these things happened. Like, I don't care. You're my mom. I love you. Don't leave me. And when she doesn't come back, I feel like I'm not important. What did I do wrong? How can I change? What can I do? And so it's this underlying belief system that I'm not good enough, and that I'm not worthy, and that I'm not deserving. And it's so painful that I have to soothe myself. As I say all that, what comes up for you? What lands?
A lot of regret. I see my family, my relationship with my sister and everything seeming to be beyond repair because of this. I don't understand why I perpetuate that kind of attitude and distancing from everybody that just wants apparently nothing but love from me. I've done it to Tori, my wife. I've done it to my son, and I've done it to my sister. And as I've instead of feeling what you're asking me to feel, I feel regret for the other people more than I allow to feel things for myself. I notice guilt already for, well, how am I going to fix that? That's an amendment that's on the list that's just staring at me, that I only feel like there's no way that they could. Well, I know my son has seen the living amends, but my sister hasn't, and I can remember being really, really mean to her, and that seems like an extension of the way I must have felt I was being treated. So I constantly think I'm over it. I just need to fix what I've damaged and then we're good. But I haven't fixed the damage in me yet. So I'm wondering how I can be genuine about fixing other people's hurt places. But I don't know where mine are. And that's the why I keep going back to. Why am I like this? I'm kind of smart, but I'm emotionally immature.
So when did this "I'm smart but emotionally immature" begin?
Well, I think it began, I noticed the swings in my childhood from being the most extroverted to the most introverted, and then back again, and then finally find the extrovert again until I found drugs and alcohol. And then I was able to stay with them for a while until it snapped back the other way. These swings seemed more and more extreme as I got older, but I wasn't able to connect with. I moved from an inner city, Minneapolis, to a rural situation, and so there was a lot of. I wore my hair longer, and there was a lot of loneliness during that time. I didn't connect with anybody but the druggies, and I didn't date or wasn't able to have enough confidence to pursue that side. So there was anger towards women there. So I felt like I was pursuing them as objects when I was younger. And it was a really confusing time. I think I didn't know there was anything other than lonely and depressed until I kind of got into the drugs. And then I realized, hey, you can feel connected and all that stuff. So I went pretty fast I was the kind of guy who went from menthol, maybe I'll try menthol cigarette, to Camel buttless in like a month. It just ramp up on everything fast. And
What that tells me is that you are looking for relief.
yes.
And if something even remotely feels good, I want to ramp it up. I want as much of this as possible. So as soon as the gummy bears hit, I'm taking all of them. Give me some oxy. I'll take all of it. Okay. Like right here, I'm smoking menthols. Now I'm smoking unfiltered Camels because I am trying to feel something. I'm trying to feel love and connection. How old were you? When you first started drinking?
I'd say probably 15 or 16.
Okay.
17 when it was maybe more of a common weekend thing.
Okay. When was that shift where you were talking about you moved from the city from the you were in the rural and moved to the city?
No, the other way around.
Okay, you were in the city, you moved to a rural area.
Yeah, middle school, like between 6th and 7th grade.
Okay, 6th and 7th grade.
And I
Okay.
kind of went from the most outgoing kid to the quietest kid overnight.
Okay. And so you hadn't started drinking yet?
No.
Okay. So when did you start drinking? Were you still out in the rural area or did you move back to the city?
No, I was in the rural for 6th or 7th through graduation. And I'd say probably as a sophomore or junior is when the drinking really started to kick in.
Okay. Sophomore, junior. Okay. And a lot of loneliness, a lot of anger.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And so the alcohol helped.
Yeah. Yeah. It was almost always social at that time because, it wasn't really, I think my parents had the attitude they'd rather see me using and drinking at home, but it wasn't to the level I wanted to. So I would escape with my friends.
So this sadness, was there sadness?
Yes.
So there is this sadness, loneliness, anger, and I'm trying to escape it. I want to feel something else. I'm not quite sure what it is. It sounds like it's love and connection. It might be something else. Was there another feeling I was seeking to feel?
Oh, I think trying to find my calling, like what was I an artist in the rough? Was I a diamond in the rough? I thought that the suffering must be so that I could be a poet or an artist or a guitarist or something bigger than. I mean, I thought the suffering was for a reason.
And you are having these thoughts at 16.
Yes.
That's a bit heavy and dark to be 16 years old and be going, oh, this suffering must be for a reason. Maybe I am destined to be, an artist or a musician. So let's go there, Sean. Let's try. Let's try and see if maybe we can begin the healing process just by trying to connect with what feels to be like 16-year-old Sean. Okay. So I want you to think right now in your mind. I want you to try and picture yourself at either 15, 16, or 17 years old. Which one comes up first? 14, 15, 15, 16, or 17? Picture
I think
yourself.
16.
Okay. And what'd you look like?
Very skinny.
Okay.
Kind of, I had long legs and a longer torso, a little awkward. Wore my hair. Thought corduroy overalls were cool.
All right. And what about your hair? Long hair, short hair?
I always liked to wear my hair long until I couldn't wear hair anymore.
Okay. I hear you. Okay. I can relate. Okay. So here's the 16-year-old, awkward, skinny, long-legged, long-haired kid.
Yeah, long was probably, here instead of like, I didn't dare go that long. This is a
Okay.
very physical, very, very, like you get knocked around at school if one of the teachers thought you needed to be slapped around. So I tried to stay under the radars, and my hair got as long as I thought it could, like right there.
Okay. So this is old school.
Yeah, it's different.
All right. This is back when it was okay to smack a kid around in school.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. The trauma continues. There's no end to the trauma here. All right. So here's what I want you to do. All right. So I want you to close your eyes. Okay. And I want you to take some deep breaths with me. We're going to take 3 deep, long breaths in and out. So I want you to keep your eyes closed.
I just want to switch here.
Just keep your eyes closed and keep breathing as you listen to me guide you through this. Just keep breathing and be relaxed and be peaceful. And let me guide you through this. And I want you to picture this 16-year-old Sean, skinny, long leg, wearing corduroy pants.
Short
And
legs.
hey, okay. What's that?
Short legs, not long.
It was short legs, long torso. Okay. All right. So
awkward, right? Yeah.
okay, awkward kid. And I want you to just imagine him in real life. I want you to not just a picture of him. I want you to, like, if he's right in front of you doing something. So in this memory that you have of 16-year-old Sean, where are you and what is he doing?
He's looking down and reading something in a house that was newly built by us in my quarter-rays. I don't know why I need to be there, but and just kind of head down.
Can you see his, if he's looking down, can you see what kind of an expression he has?
Indifferent.
Okay. Indifference. So I want you to start moving towards him until he starts noticing that you're getting close to him.
Look like my son a little bit.
What's that?
Looks like my son a little bit.
He looks like your son a little bit. Okay. All right. So does he see you yet?
Yep.
What's his expression like now?
A little encroached. Like, what, can I do something for you?
Okay. Okay. And can I do something for you? How about you say, no, is there something that I can do for you?
Okay. Something I can do for you. Well, I stared on now.
He's not saying anything.
Nope.
Okay. So tell him, Sean, it's me, Sean.
He knew it all along.
He goes,
I think he's a little bit pissed off at me, to be honest.
of course he's pissed off at you.
Okay.
So go, hey, Sean, I can see you're pissed off, bro. Why are you pissed off?
Because like everybody else, I left him.
Oh. Breathe that in. Just breathe that in. Breathe that in. Breathe that in. What do you want to tell him in this moment?
That now that I found you, that you won't have to worry about that anymore because I plan to be here a lot. And how you need me, not how you think I am.
Ask him if there's any way you can make amends for leaving him.
So we'll see.
He's not very trusting.
No.
Sounds familiar.
Especially at this age. You should have, yeah.
Okay.
There then.
So say, I want to make a first step towards making amends. How can I make that first step?
Just be there. Just be there. Know that. I want the best, not the worst. Be there so you can witness this stuff. But I'm not crazy.
Ask him if there's anything that you can do for him in this moment right now.
He's looking for a hug.
How about you give him a hug? You know how to do it. You know how we roll around here. Go ahead. There you go. There you go. Squeeze them real hard.
Surprised, because we didn't hug back then.
Yeah. Well, you fucking hug now. So right in this moment, say, Sean, I'm so sorry.
Sean, I'm so sorry.
I love you.
I love you.
I will never abandon you again.
I'll never abandon you again now that I found you.
Can you find it in your heart to forgive me?
Can you find it in your heart to forgive me?
What do you say?
Of course. This is strength and his weakness. You can't say no.
All right, one more thing. Before I go, is there anything else that I can do for you?
Yeah, he needed to learn how to laugh a little bit. Tell him a good joke or something.
Rule 62, my friend. Stop taking yourself so seriously.
Exactly.
Anything else?
I think that was the first good step.
Yeah. All right. Whenever you're ready, come on back. Whatever you just let go of, Sean, leave it. Leave it. It no longer serves you. You don't need it. Life is here to teach us so much. And this journey that you took that started at age 16 when you abandoned yourself is you followed the same example that your mother did. Because you didn't know any other way. And your mother left because she thought she was protecting you. And you have a difficult time showing love to the people that love you the most because you're afraid you're going to hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
Your son, your daughter, your wife. How do you feel about that now?
I feel a lot softer in that regard. Because I know that's true me. Is not one of hurting. Although I, saw a lot of evidence otherwise, it's not me today. And
So
hurting myself isn't going to help either.
So who are you, Sean?
Who am I? I am trying to be happy, joyous, and free. And I think that's all I really want to be. And
you are love.
You
You are love, Sean. And at the end of the day, that's what we all are. We are all love and grace and happiness and joy. And we get lost along the way. That's all. We just get lost along the way and we start to believe things that aren't true. And we start to blame ourselves. Yeah. We create these stories. And the hero's journey is about disproving those stories. It's about waking up and remembering who you are. Love, light, energy, grace, power, intensity. And you can give all of that to the people that count the most, like your wife and your daughter and your son and yourself.
I'm wondering about that daughter. I don't know her, so I'm just thinking back.
I thought you had a daughter. Was it your sister then?
Yeah, my sister.
Okay. I thought it was a daughter
Oh my
in there.
God, he knows about a daughter? Holy cow, it's got more
Oh,
complicated.
so it's just the one son?
Yes.
Okay. Not sure where I got the daughter.
That's
Heard
right.
that somewhere. Must have been a different download. All right. You know what's important right now, Sean? You're laughing.
Yes. It's truly a laugh. Yes, it is.
Yes, you are laughing and you are light. And you let go of something. Don't go back and get it.
Thank you, my friend. You have a gift.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. And so what's the action item, Sean? What are you going to do next? What are you going to do with this happiness and joy and new energy?
Well, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stay single in my purpose, and I think I like the idea. I've seen so much growth in Tori. These tapes, that meditation of affirmation, and these podcasts. While I'm doing something else, kind of let my brain be there instead of inside of the stories that I've been. So I think I need a break from that land, the dialogue land, and it's just like when me trying to meditate. I'm trying to do the no mind. There's no such thing, but I can strive for it. There's no perfection, but I can quiet the mind. I find my pink cloud, which is, I still don't know what exactly that means, was my mind was quiet for a while, excited by it, distracted by it, things that were outside of me. And some point flipped in. So I guess be outwards, observant, listen to my body, quiet my mind.
All right. I'm going to give you some further, because that is more inner work. And yes, you're going to be doing more inner work, but here's what I want. Here's the suggestion. Should you choose to accept 5 to 10 minutes a day, connecting with 16-year-old Sean. I'm going to check in the mornings.
Okay.
Then every day, hug your wife, hug your son. Tell them you love them. That's it.
Hey.
Duh. Why did I think of that?
I like it. Yeah.
We want to complicate our lives. I don't want to think so much. And, I'm trying to stop the brain from thinking. No, go hug your wife, go hug your son, and go hug 16-year-old Sean. He misses you.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Who wants to chime in? Give Sean some love. Go ahead, Lynn.
Good going, Sean. Good job.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Edwin.
Hey, Sean. Thank you for sharing.
Of course.
And I wrote down a couple of things that kind of resonated with me. And it was things that you mentioned. You mentioned indifference, which is kind of something I've sensed as a general vibe. And you touch on a subject again on several occasions, which is connection. And indifference and connection are to some degree the opposite. So one of the things that prevent me from using is my connection to pain. I'm no longer trying to find indifference with that connection, because the same way that my physical body, when I touch a burning stove, hurts and I have to take my hand away, I need to remind myself of my connection to pain. And pain is actually one of the greatest motivators for evolution. So today, with we're relying on the people in the rooms, relying on a higher power, I view pain much differently. I am no longer running away from it or looking at it from a point of fear. Pain for me is one of the things that will lead me down to identify what's my next step for evolution. Whatever is my biggest pain, sometimes I need to run straight to it to identify what it is I need to do. So if I don't have an association to pain and my using, I'm gonna keep doing it. I need to understand that. And I have, as I am brave enough to associate to that pain and face it, then things will start clicking for me a lot more. I am a stubborn. I'm stubborn, I'm close minded, but pain is something that will drill that out of me. And I'm grateful for pain today. I understand that pain has a purpose. If I don't know how to manage it and how to transform that energy, it's actually trying to take away an illusion of something. The other thing is my mind. There, I think, and I heard an article by a guru who had his disciple approach him and say, I can't stop my mind. So the guru says, do you also want to stop your heart? Do you also want to stop breathing? Do you also want to stop digesting food? The mind is there for a reason. There's a saying that the mind is a beautiful servant, but a terrible master. Our awareness is what differentiates whether that or the other is the case. We are awareness. We are not our minds. We are not our feelings. We can actually become aware of what our thoughts are. And there is a pattern. There is, once you identify why things are happening, if you reverse engineer how a human being works, which is thoughts, feelings, action, that action repeated multiple times becomes your pattern of behavior and then your destiny. If you reverse engineer that and you understand your thoughts and your feelings and you become aware of them, and then you decide to understand, well, you also understand the consequences of that repeated behavior and associate it to either pain or pleasure as a long-term result. When you change your thinking and your feelings, then things will start to change. That is the root cause, our thoughts and our feelings, and we are not them. We are how we react to them.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Gold, Edwin. I'm going to start calling him the mini Dalai Lama. So, you know what's beautiful about that, too, is the courage that it took you, Sean, today to show up and share this part of your life. And, you know, to piggyback off what Edwin was talking about, pain was the motivator. I'm tired. I am so tired of trying to carry this weight, this pain, all by myself any longer. And so the motivation for pain allows you to be vulnerable. And you've been coming to these meetings for almost since the beginning. I've seen you pretty much from the beginning joining the calls, and this is the first time you joined. So it took a tremendous amount of courage. And it's true. The pain, if I run from it, if I try and get around it or over it, it's still there. I have to go through the pain. I have to pierce the pain, go right into it, and just allow myself the discomfort of, you know, for example, going through this call, of like getting asked questions and bringing up the past and feeling those uncomfortable feelings, only to have a beautiful breakthrough and a beautiful awakening to, even like what Edwin was saying, there was a starting point. And in that starting point started a belief system. And based on that belief system, I started taking actions. And based on those actions, I started seeing results and consequences. And my life started to spiral in a direction that I've lost control over. And one day I end up wondering, how did I get here? You said it, something about you've gone far enough into the forest. I mean, that's really, that's life. I've gone so far off the path, I can't find my way out. I need help. And it's that asking for help that ultimately can bring us that relief if we're willing to go through the pain. So, well done, my friend. You did it.
Thank you. Thank you all.
All right. Anybody else? All right.
I'm proud of you, Sean.
Go ahead, Sheila. Sorry.
It's okay. I just want to say I was proud of you, Sean, because that takes a lot of courage to do what you did. Thank you for sharing with us.
No, unmute, Sean.
I know you're all here to help, so it really helped. I mean, if it was you guys were, maybe if you're complete strangers, but I know y'all, so I had to be love that I felt here to let me do that. Thank you.
There is so much love here. There is so much love. And now you can go and take that love that has now penetrated through that force field, through that shield that was preventing you from feeling love for yourself and for others, and now go out and shower it all over the first places, your wife and your son. Get out there, hug them every day, connect with 16-year-old Sean, and smile. Life is good. All right, everybody. Big round of applause. Thanks again, Sean. Well done. I love you all, and we'll see you next Wednesday.